take a look at the local bourse. It closed in positive territory. It managed to pull out of the negative stance it was in early in the day. What drove the local bourse movements today?
I think one was a little bit of rand weakness. The rand weakened a bit from 772 to 783. I think also perhaps the Anglo American results did lift the market a little bit because analysts were expecting a little bit worse. They came out a little bit on the upside of the forecast range, and they did. I think initially they moved up to 250 rand a share and then fell back again to around the 242, 244 level.
Now, obviously, Anglo American, everyone was watching to see if they'd be declaring a dividend. They haven't declared a dividend.
Yes.
Do you think this was prudent on their side?
I think under the circumstances, and you know, they took that view at the very beginning of the year and said, look, we're not going to declare a dividend now. Well, it was in March, and now coming up here again, they are going through a lot of cost-cutting measures, and it doesn't seem right to be paying out a dividend when you are cutting costs as drastically as they are at the moment.
Yes, of course, they've been cut about 15,000 jobs of the 19,000 proposed jobs that they're going to be cutting. Now, taking a look at staying resource stocks, we had AngloGold Ashanti also issuing their quarterly results today. What was your take on those results?
I think reasonably good. It was interesting to see that I think their cost of production went up slightly from $440 an ounce to $474 an ounce, and that was mostly outside of South Africa that those costs came through. And the production levels were a bit better as well, which was nice to see.
Now, AngloGold is sitting at $292.71. Sorry, 292 rand rather. Yes. Do you think we're going to see some more upside? Obviously, rallying marginally up today after these results came.
I think again it does depend on the gold price, of course, going forward. And the gold price I see now is around about $940 an ounce. And I think looking back at the rest of the world currencies at the moment, everybody wants to have a weaker currency. There is a lot of pressure on the currencies, and the gold, I think, is still your good hedge against paper.
Now, gold, AngloGold Ashanti's forecast for gold is to trade in the range of $900 to $950 by the year end and going up to $1,000. So they're bullish on the gold price.
Yes.
Actually unwinding their hedge position to take advantage of that.
I think they're quite correct.
Now, what is your take on the other gold stocks, Harmony and Gold Fields?
Well, you know, Gold Fields has always been a bit more of the conservative kind of play on the gold market, and Harmony has been the one that has the better gearing. So if your appetite for risk is a little bit higher, then Harmony is the preferred one. But I think over the longer term for more conservative portfolios, definitely AngloGold and Gold Fields. And
of course, we've got those wage increases, so we've got to take that into effect. How do you think that's going to impact those companies?
Look, it comes around every time this year, and I think it's always expected, and it's always a very trying time for companies. And obviously have to go back and sharpen their pencils yet again afterwards and try and sort out how they can bring their costs down while still increasing wages and find other ways to do it. And then, of course, try and increase their revenues in times like this. It must be very, very tough.
I suppose now they can actually plan their costs, though, going forward for the next 2 years. Now
hopefully, yes.
Yes. Taking a look at banks now, we've got Standard Bank, which issued their trading update yesterday, saying they expect earnings to be down between 20 and 25%. Now, all the banks are sitting down today. It appears responding to that news. Yes,
I think what we, in the beginning of the year, when we first had the results coming through, I think it was still seeing some of the results from the past where things were still pretty buoyant and the economic growth was still there, but now we've had a sharp fall off, and obviously people have been stressed as far as paying their debts are concerned. We're still seeing credit card debts are increasing all the time, and not being all that unsecured debt is a big problem. So I think the banks are facing huge impairments coming through now, and we'll see really just how big that really is for them.
But in the longer term, would you be putting your money on banks?
I would be, but not yet. I think we've got to see how bad these earnings are right now. Possibly, you know, if you're looking at our Purchasers Managers Index, it's also looking still below 50, so we're still in contraction. The vehicle sales are still down. There's a lot of bad news out there still for the South African economy, which has to filter through. Once, I think, give it another 2 or 3 months, then probably that would be the time to be looking at the banks again.